Nidog as well is a very, very aggressive idea, but no truck banned, and it is banned 74% of the time. That's a concern for me right now. I know we should absolutely be considering it. Buzz, which is a similar idea. I still prefer let bans.
Okay, here's the Nita for Navi. So it looks like the approach is basically going to be for, of course, Chuck is absolutely still in this conversation. It can still be picked. Navi can play defense and farm bears off of it. A hypercharged bear is an absolute sight to behold. Rico can deal with it. Carl is going to have a bit of a tougher time dealing with it, I believe. See what Nidog go for. They want to also have some reaction to Buzz that pretty much hard counters Carl, since he has stun on lock so frequently and can still compete at the range that Carl would like to operate at if he is countered in close range. Last selection, do they go for something that's going to be good into the Nita? A thrower is a possible option because there's no wall break here. They're going to go for Barley as their final one. So I agree with this. I think that Barley can still find some weakness into Buzz though.
I don't understand why no one picked Chuck, honestly. It blows my mind, especially when you consider that statistic of 74% of the banner rate. It's there for a reason. I mean, it's kind of a weird one in APAC that I've seen in the past where in previous months, when Chuck wasn't picked, and then it just... I don't know. It's a weird one for me, but nonetheless, both sides clearly feel competent, with what they've got going on, and let's see how it fares. I mean, I think that Chuck brings so much to the table in terms of that aggressiveness, that ability to keep going on the offense. But both sides maybe want to play a bit more defense. I like the aggressiveness of this Buzz though from Navi, so let's see what that can do from the side of Navi.
Okay, Levy gonna take it down, and he went for another one on the Kuru. Managed to get his super off of that one. He's creating the control around these bushes, but honestly, I don't think Suzuku and Choppy were gonna be able to push into those anyways.
Серьезно, нет, Годзилла база и Канаги?
Doesn't really have a good angle on the Kuru.
Я в шоке, ребят, я сейчас
as well, which makes Barley even stronger.
Это было вообще самое известное
It ends up ringing true.
Я вообще не
some damage on the safe. Kuru also low on health. We'll see Suzuku go for the kill and some damage on the safe. This is actually a pretty good pick, it looks like.
А чё Нави выигрывает, да? Нави слив должны.
The barrage from the Rico there just seals it, but that was disgusting, and he's not done yet. Hypercharge now in, doing the Spider-Man around the map, going to find Ghost T as well now. Gets the kill on him and continues to push forward to Chappie. On the safe as well. This could be good for FA Nidog here. I think the last shred of damage. Uh-oh, they gotta be careful. Suzuku just tried to run that down. He didn't even think about going to the side, strafing, backstepping at all. And kind of a blind pull there, or torpedo there from Levy. He does have another super that he can use, might not even need it. Tried to find that angle versus Ryogi, which he did for a moment. You sit at a specific angle versus the Rico gadget that he can avoid it. But it's no matter, Ryogi doesn't even have any left anymore. This is a lot of damage to chew through that I don't think FA Nidog are going to be capable of, because Levi has this gadget available to reposition to get on the safe. Ryogi tries to go for the block, but one little projectile slips through, and Navi take the game.
Нави выиграли. Ладно.
Lovely stuff. I was kind of rooting for a defense there, to be honest. There's nothing more exciting than seeing a match go from 1% and then that comeback potential, which was there, but ultimately that Buzz pick is too difficult to defend against. And despite even the Rico gadget, the multiple launch, and just so much value for Rio, just not enough to really deter it for as long as they could. And there's not much damage, let's be said, on the side of it. They need to get a bit more of an aggressive stance here, play a little bit less defense, try and find that better balance. And Kuri now doing just that on that right-hand side, getting a couple of shreds.
This is what we needed to see, the kind of positioning of Kuri. He is always on the case. The deal with Barley is he's going to be a great answer to the Nita here, so as long as he can get on the Nita, then he's going to be absolutely cooking. Okay, no stun here for Levi. Kuri barely wins this interaction, but Suzuku is left unchecked on the safe. Up to 15%, possibly counting if he can keep dodging Ryogi, which he does. But meanwhile, on the side of Navi. You've seen Kuru get a super onto the safe, and more bottles still crashing in. A hypercharge pop by Levy, and an easy kill for him on a Kuru, but that's all he's going to have time for before the hypercharge expires. Ryohi looks for the kill. It's a bit of a whiff on a Levy. Nearly got the kill. As long as he keeps him mid-control, though.
Отлично, дали
Well, a nice pick up there from Ghost T, plays at the left-hand side, but Chappie still remains, has the hyper there as well, going in. Needs to heal up a little bit now as well. Has now super, might use it. Oh, cancels the beautiful cancellation there onto Ghost T, takes away that protective pirouette, but now, let's see, can Ryohi try to end this? I've got to be honest, I feel like we've kind of got a bit past Rico being too prevalent in this map. It pains me to say it, I love Rico, he's my favourite brawler, used to be my favourite brawler on this very map. I'm just not too convinced now, nonetheless. It will be the brawler that deals the final bit of damage now. Time in this set. This is still dangerous territory here for Navi.
I see the Rico fire the beam down mid. I'm like, what do you have to say now? And I know. there's more nuance to it than, okay, the team that Rico was on won, therefore he's good. I've seen Rico be forced to actually play in more open situations and get taken down by Levy in particular. We'll see if Ryohi can hold on to this angle at mid. It's probably going to be one of the best areas on the map to lurk for as long as possible. Note also that Kuru is kind of on the quote wrong side because he'd much rather be versus a choppy left.
Yeah, able to keep his distance from the bars and just trying to whistle things down. And Chappie now low on the left-hand side as well. Nice connection there from Ryohi. He finds a lovely little angle there to ensure the value from the star power. And now a little splash cut down the Kuru. The heals as well. Everyone alive in this is a very dangerous position. Now you've got to stop the friendly better than this.
See Levy over there on the right side.
Нет, нельзя отступать, убегать просто нельзя.
This is tons of damage on the safe. We're down to just 13 and still plummeting as Kuru deposits the final bottles on the safe and takes this one back.
Нави слили.
What was that game? I mean, it's blink and you miss it. Navi were nowhere to be seen. And I mean, this is what I'm kind of seeing is a bit of a pattern.
Слава Украине, говно я не слава.
No doubt about that. But when they do make those mistakes, they rectify them in the same game and just
Все, ребят, Нави слились.
I mean, that was a Navi set for me. And they looked so convincing. And they just threw it all away. And this is now potentially a position where they might have come back from. That's a scary prospect for me.
We just saw some careless mistakes in there. I think that are, you can pass them, but at this level of play, those mistakes are actually costly. One of them that stood out to me in particular that I kind of reacted to was Buzz torpedoing into a wall when he clearly meant to hit the barley. Tried to save it, popping I think it's called like reserve torpedo. Anyway, it's a gadget that gives you a torpedo back without giving you the stun. And still did not secure the kill there, simply because didn't have the stun available. Check out Levi though, he's cooking over here. That was actually a great trade for him. Once again, on the right, this guy was going absolutely insane on game number 1, but things started to shift by game number 2, where we saw Doug being permitted a good barley matchup. We see the barley left unchecked on the right. Levi still cleaned it up there. However, in game number 3, I also looked to that one in particular, where Kuru was allowed to exist over here. Levi, of course, is going to hard counter this Carl, but Kuru is much bigger of an issue when you're playing heist.
Нави больше не в турнире.
Solid stuff from FA Nightdog. I mean, look at those stats. Levy did great on that Buzz pick. I feel like he really did try to keep the whole thing alive. I mean, very much even across the board for FA Nightdog, every single player doing their bit. 10 kills for Kuru, 10 for Ryohi, 9 for Ghost T, and the world of DPS there from Ryohi. 432 is outstanding in terms of the DPS. I mean, really amazing from him. Struggled a bit sometimes on that defense, and that's why I've got some reservations on Rico a little bit now on this particular map, because unless you're able to really control that mid, push forwards and get that damage on the safe, it's quite difficult to be in a defensive position with that brawler, but he played it fantastically well regardless. And I mean, this is now the point where you've got to feel like Epic Nightdog can just try to tie this up now. Navi have got to really battle their heads now, because like mentally they should be all over the place. Two sets down and in the semi-finals, and this is their second monthly final appearance. They need to be doing better to represent this org. And it's a real touching to see. You want to see more back and forth from this.
They stand to benefit also from sort of, we can call them the pack, right? Number 2 through number 4 on the leaderboard, 2 of them going down quite early today. Only rivals really remain. So now Navi has the opportunity to close in on their point counts and possibly lock an LCQ for themselves next month. This month is simply the positioning for that. But if Nidug shuts it down here, they can practically kiss those chances goodbye.
It's a bit of a sorry statistic, isn't it, there for Chappie? Just the 1 kill, 92 DPS.
Слушай, кто вообще сказал, что
Not
будет
a
коллаба со
great thing to see. I mean,
туалетами?
obviously, of course, the idea again just Bruce onto the safe, and that's kind of what gave Navi that win, wasn't it? We saw the amount of value which Bruce was able to obtain. But that's the problem with Nita. It's really like all or nothing. And some of the drafts kind of we already questioned a little bit there why Chuck wasn't kind of utilized a bit more. We see a lot more Buster and Hot Potato since the hypercharge really coming into full effect. It is kind of one of those borders that could be worth even banning. I mean, North America play it beautifully well on this map as well. It's such a joy to watch. Many of the players in North America really championed Buzz recently and just bring that brawler into like a whole new world of technical display. And I feel like it did get a really good amount of play there from Levy as well there. And just, I think it's very violent. But I still think Chuck's better. I mean, it does a similar thing, but I feel like Chuck is that brawler which really forces your hand to have to decide about the offensive versus defensive, and there wasn't really that kind of pressure, except like the Buzz pick, I guess. But Navi now definitely got to reconsider something. Some adaptations are a must going into hideout and bounty because it's not working right now. I mean, they're making some good plays, and they're right. Yeah, 93% are siding with Navi here. I mean, Navi Nation, as we know, come out in their numbers, but nonetheless, that is not being reflected right now.
Нави еще в турнире. Какие будешь? А нет, наверное, в турнире.
Точно, ребят, сейчас, получается, должны сделать 3-0. Получается, НА. Должен сделать сейчас 3-0, и все, я не выиграю. Так, с нами сразу же Мелоди. Они запрет поставили. Анджелу и Пайпер, а Нави на Бастера, Анджела и Байна. Окей. НД взяли, получается, Макс.
Nidug are firing back with a max of their own, so they will be able to crank up the momentum themselves if necessary, but they need some kind of response mode. They have the last pick in their back pocket, so if they want to go for literally the Melody of our counter, they could pick Cordelius, but it would be a little bit soon to pick him, given that he could be weak in the things that is longer range.
Feel like you're cooking there, ready. Honestly, I think the kit with that Melody pick would be really solid. It kind of forces the hand for Nidug to have to consider just taking it off the table. They don't do that. They go with Charlie, and I think that's a very solid choice to have as a counter into that very idea. So, I mean, let's see. I mean, the Barrow's bans and the healing kind of has to come from the kit and nothing else aside from that, because if that wasn't bad, it'd be like a really tasty kind of thing combined with it. Carl gonna come in. We're seeing a bit more of Carl recently now in terms of the meta. It's certainly in this APAC region for sure, probably taking a lot of those play rates away from the others as well. But as we've seen across the years, many other regions who look to APAC to kind of sort of see ballers that they maybe kind of left forgotten about. Last year that was Lola, for example. We saw like a big rise in Lola towards the end of the year, but at the beginning that was all APAC running it. At the moment though, I'm kind of wondering what they're going to be thinking on the side of Navi here, because I was pretty sold on that kit idea as well. Taking the time for pick as well coming in, might shoot some more long-range ideas, so maybe wall break as well, or authority was not the play for me. I'll be honest, straight up. That was not what I expected to see nor wanted to see from Navi. Has had a few tweaks a little bit now. We saw a recent change probably about a few months ago now, where knockback was kind of introduced, but it didn't really do enough to certainly warrant it in this scenario. And already, you know, Curry cheering. I can see it. I can understand why.
So let's talk about this Gus. Honestly, I don't really hate it. Gus got like a slight buff. Now he's able to knock enemies back. I don't think that's necessarily why he's being selected here. Oh no! How did Draco sneak in? Oh, he's gonna run these guys down 100%. Now, there is of course the hazard that FA Nidug face with this
Два
selection,
турнира.
which is that he's gonna actually be pretty weak in the early game. He's outranged by every single member of Navi, and the only way that they can get him forward basically is with this max. However, the Blue Star's gonna go to Carl for free, so that's part of Navi's math, is that they'll have defensive capabilities, they'll be in the lead right off rip. That said, though,
Теперь
they
смотрим,
are
как
falling back
так
quite
Вир
quickly.
Чарльз,
Levi's in a position where he could get pinched quite easily. And Josh is taking a ton of damage, really also contributing so onto Levi.
Кстати, ребят,
Yet to
Карл
see the
тоже
first
неплохо
kill.
тащит,
Suzuki has all the
вообще.
mobility in the world. Looks like he's going to put Kuru
Блин,
in his
ребят, это
sights.
молодец,
This is honestly
реально
quite
главное.
prudent. He also has the gadget to help himself get out alive. That was a good move to go for that in the
Да,
early
кстати,
game
ребят, он
because there's no
неплохо
way
так
that Charlie's going to
подыгрывает
have the
этот
gadget early game.
Они
It took
даже
7
не
shots
это
to get
же...
her super, but Suzuki's got to be careful from here on out because Kuru could be getting
Если
close to
тот
a super,
релей
probably just 2 or
сейчас
3
оставишься
shots.
Нави.
I'm just not convinced it's the map for Draco. I mean, there's got to be a really strong push coming in from FA Nidug to make it work. Kuru now is keeping the cocoon there for Suzuki, who's been playing a wondrous melody so far, I've got to be honest. But shielded over his Levo, they want to combine that Gus with Bakal, I get it, but is it going to be enough? That's the question. Is now Ghosty trying to come in, and once he is in dragon form, that might be a bit more of a decision maker. Levo going in is very aggressive here, coming back out again, and Super's got to take Kuru away too, gets a heal along the way. Navi is playing this very defensively.
У Драк уже цветает, хороший
But
знак.
when the clock ticks down, when the pressure rises, now the speed comes in. Will they be able to defend this? Ghosty goes in, finds something maybe onto Liver, gets it as well now. Everyone low on that right-hand side. There could be more stars coming in.
Все, ребят, все.
Well, here it comes. Ghosty tries to attack an enemy that's in a cocoon. We'll see them pop out.
Начинает
No
тащить.
kills over
Сколько
here
Драк
for
вышел
FA
в форму
Nidug, but they
свою?
are in the lead by 1 star. Oh, they could have compounded that lead so
Это пока
much
что
more.
24-3.
But it
Я,
only
ребята, сейчас
barely
думал, что
slipped through their
баунти
fingers.
против
15-second
киберспортсменов это
countdown
реально очень
active.
легко.
The clock is
Все,
vanishing
просто
before our
берешь,
very eyes.
нажимается,
Suzuki gonna try to
тут
attempt to
оказывается...
approach from the right, but they only
Всё, вообще не
lack
так.
mobility. Suzuki has it. He's going to have to push in.
Да вы
Rio, he's the
проснули
only
за
brawler
2
that can
минуты,
take it
сделали
down,
4.
but this pickaxe is not connecting. FA
Ура,
Nidug
ребят,
stays
найс,
in the lead.
3-0,
They're at match point.
yes. А, еще второй раунд.
I get it, you know, I do get it. They've really valued the Carl. They want to combine it with the Gus, go on the aggressive, have that additional shielding and come out with the goods. But, I mean, that's a bit of an old school meta idea, which doesn't necessarily, it does work.
Давай,
You're in a meta
второй
now where
раунд.
kick plus melody is as strong as it is. You know, I'm just kind of wondering why they just didn't kind of opt for that. It wasn't bad. We saw that as being the strategy which would be
Они,
one
ребят,
to work.
против держали
And
на
it just takes
такой
one
дистанции,
good
а потом
push from
просто
FA Nidug,
Драко
and they pretty good at
стал
giving more stars
динозавриком
back
и
that push. There was a player that was
просто
very, very low at the end, and they
затащил.
might have been able to secure that. Thought better of it. Obviously, the protective shield
Да,
coming
ребят,
off the
все-таки
spawn is
главное
there
в
as
Драко
well
это
to consider,
накопить.
so they don't want to outstay their welcome. But we're looking at now a match point for FA Nidug, and Navi have yet to show. And that's
А реально, где
pretty
Петр
worrisome.
Олегович?
Let's see what they're capable of. Suzuki has mobility once again, but they're basically playing against a ticking time bomb. Once Ghosty has his super and Ryogi has his, their days are numbered. Levi is going to receive this super. We'll see also a takedown. Excellent channel right through the cocoon with absolutely no issues. But this is an eerily similar start. We see the aggression from Navi generating a 3-0 lead. FA Nidug are still counting down the clock until they can get Ghosty in an aggressive position. They deliberately put him on the highest execution brawler, and it's not working. Oh, did he pop his super as well? It looks like Draco lost his super in that as well. 0-9, no Draco super. Almost a death sentence for FA Nidug.
А у Драка
It was beautiful. It really, really was. And just to ensure the Ghosty was low, and that was what we wanted to see more from Navi. If they're going to have this
Даже не
commitment
думайте
between this Gus and this Carl,
здесь
they've got to make things like
2-1.
that happen more. Really
Побеждает
very low here.
НД.
Suzuki has got the notes as well.
Наверное, выиграют, да?
Conducts around the situation. If you go on the aggressive, goes back there. Not too sure. Could probably secure that kill if they just concerned there. And he's able to stay alive for it. Lever going in though.
СНД, почему они сливаются так тупо?
That's 13 stars to 0. Much more. We
Короче, в
want
этой
to see here
катке
from
НД
Navi.
слили.
But would it be a set between these two if we didn't see it go all the way to game 3? Nonetheless, it is Navi taking the win in this game. And our match point continues to a game 3. FA Nidug were not able to get what they wanted this time. However, I would say that it was due to sort of an error when it came to the game-winning play. The one that won them game number 1. We saw Draco pop his super as he was dying to this Carl in his super. Now, in those moments, we typically see a Draco just pop the gadget that literally makes him invincible for a short period. But at least you're not dead. That's not what we saw from Ghost T, however. So now we see Navi get the same start as last time. They have this blue star. FA9 Doug might want to break up the momentum. Once they get rolling, they really get rolling. Ghost T got back-to-back dragons. Oh no. Okay, force pop the gadget over here on the left. Levi's in hot pursuit. Kuru will fall maybe in this interaction. Nice super as well for the charge. But I think that Navi wins this one.
Well, I think there's a world where FA No Dog, from looking at previous sets, will learn from the mistakes and bring this one back potentially. But you're right about the Draco. I mean, they are running that last stand gadget, which you're referring to, that 2 seconds of invulnerability, basically. But I think the reason why you went down during the Super was because of the shredding star power. That gives you sort of more healing when you get your spec activated. Just shy of 3,000. It's quite a lot of healing. Coming in, I wonder whether this is the map for Draco realistically here. It worked when that first game, but they're struggling now, especially with a substantial lead here for Navi. They're trying to get some takedowns early here on the clock, and they're trying to escape this. This is going really aggressive here as well. Comes out with some stars from Chappie and Box in as well. Ghost T coming back around. This is going to escape. 6 stars, it's not bad. But Ghost T is very low here. He might be down surviving just like 6 HP. But still more work
Главное, чтобы ты еще сам драку не слился.
Suzuku might be slippery, but can he dash away from
В любом
all
случае,
this
ребят,
opposition?
вся катка держится на одном драку.
Suzuku is enemy number 1 for FA9 Doug. They close in on the right.
Если бы не
Hypercharge and super
ошибся,
available for Kuru.
все, ребят, был
Not used just yet. Counting down the clock, 10 seconds remain. Kuru, the last one alive. Navi go to 19 stars. They'll take this set. They are not going down in set number 3.
That's what we wanted to see. We want to see a back and forth, and this is what we're going to get now. Is Navi just wake up finally. I mean, I'm still not convinced on the draft. I've said it before, I'll say it again. But they made it work, and that to me is all I want to see. If they're going to play something risky, a kind of off-meta idea, it's got to be something which works. And they started to then work on those mistakes. And I think that key moment, I'll bring it around, said it a little bit already, was when that Draco was trying to cycle it into super. Ghost went down. You can see in the replay, the Cuckoo pop a gadget there from the Gust did do a great deal in just whittling down that HP to make him low enough for that Carl to come in to get that kill, to ensure it and just effectively waste that utility. Because to get super on a map like this, it's so difficult, and Ghost is really struggling in those early moments to really have much to use. We might see it, let's see, but ultimately for Navi, that was a very important set to win, but they are far from out of the woods.
Just look how dominant this is, though. Once Draco gets super, they basically spawn. It's reminiscent, low-key, of when Rosa was first released and she had 80% damage reduction with her super, where you just exist in their spawn, they respawn. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for the stars. But what changed for FA9 Doug was once they got that ball rolling, really all that had to happen for this momentum to stop. I mean, look at this. Ghosty gets 2 kills, and then what does Suzuki do? He dashes all the way to the right side, where Ghosty cannot touch him at all. Now, it would not have gotten FA9 Doug the lead, but to keep this streak going, to keep the chain supers going, you have to be dealing damage. It's not a struggle for Draco to do that. He heals himself, and he gets his super back quite quickly. He just needs enemies to feed his super. And once Suzuki removed himself from that, he stopped the streak.
I was going to say, I think it was a mistake to pick Draco, honestly. I mean, I say that, but Kuru actually is the least of the takedowns with 0. The most in terms of DPS, but 114 is not really much to write home about, let's be honest. But I mean, Ghosty did get the most kills, but it's just not a Draco map. And I think that's something that I think the teams need to realize quite quickly. And we're seeing it obviously for the first time in this region, being the first of the month. But I mean, I want to see teams and players really consider the best use of Draco for the map. We saw it a little bit on the stream B, just kind of using safe zone, like say, and it doesn't work in these environments. We saw a couple of moments with Ghosty, but I mean, realistically, they kind of gave Navi a bit of a helping hand. Still not sold in that goal. just pick, but it makes sense with that Carl combination, and they were able to provide the value. I mean, 5 kills apiece amongst the team in a game mode like Bounty is what you want to see, really, isn't it? I mean, that regardless of the comp, is all that matters is that objective. And 402 for Levi, again, having a really, really good day so far. But Suzuki, for me, he's a bit of a shining star. I mean, he's always playing those aggressive, flashy brawlers, and that can sometimes take the spotlight, but nonetheless, he's making it count. He's bringing home the goods, and he's not getting overly aggressive in that role either. That's what I really like to see.
Okay, we're heading into the next set and changing up the environment for our players, both in-game and quite literally, as Navi are back in the hotel room. They're no longer in the lobby. That's kind of a cool TV in the background. It's framed like a painting, except, you know, a painting isn't an arrangement of like millions of pixels. Okay, let's talk dueling beetles, the real environment that matters here. Though I think it's also worth discussion that a change of scenery, but also just, you know, not having the people around you in a hotel lobby might be the thing that has helped out Navi quite a bit. I mean, they won the last set, which is also the first set that they played from the hotel room instead of the hotel lobby.
The choices of the best teams around the world. Which room is going to give me the best advantage here? But dueling beetles, certainly, I want to see an Angelo ban for me. I mean, we've seen it scathe through before. It's not going to do so this time around, as FA Nidug really just solidified that. This is a Draco map, so I get the ban here. I really, really do. Byron is the first pick for Navi, a very underrated one as well, but there's certainly the Grey open here as well, and that possibility of that kind of Rosa or the Jackie kind of combo with it. The Evans ban is there for Navi. Let's not deny that, and that's a great argument to really counter out against it. Sandio coming in for FA Nidug. Really love that brawler. So much value to be obtained on this map as well. The Red Sand Star Power really just, you know, whistling down. The DPS can just show up everyone in the bush, and there is the Grey. I really like this starting hand from FA Nidug. It gives them opportunities, options as well. They can choose to see the entire comp before deciding, do they, okay, Navi snapping up the Rosa, I think is probably the best thing for them to do, because they can't run the risk. All they could have done, they could have gone with a Shelly or something just to have as an insurance policy, but it's not always the best choice to kind of preempt something which may not even come.
I see the Rosa and I'm like, oh, for sure they go Poco, because they know what they're gonna fight against. It's gonna be great Jackie. There's not, if they pick a Jackie themselves, then they're gonna have to go for it. But now the Shelly comes through. Holy bait from Nidug. So it's Shelly profiting against, you could say, guys, once upon a time we talked about Poco double tank. This is like double Poco tank, so sort of the opposite, the converse in a sort of way. I'm looking forward to seeing how this Shelly operates. This is going to be wonderful. Complete run it down from Navi. Nidug are lacking the DPS in Grey, but honestly, a Shelly coming through the TP might be more terrifying than a Jackie, considering the comp that Navi are playing.
Yeah, a bit of a disastrous draft here for Navi, to be completely honest. I mean, they took away the Rosa from the hands of what it could have easily been a bait. Grey's a great brawler to have. You don't have to combine it with these cheesy kind of comp ideas. I mean, they work. They're not cheesy for that intense, but like they work really, really well. And so far, Navi on his own, though, getting some good taps. He should fall here as well, and that's a very, very, very strong start from them. And Leva's not even done yet on that right-hand side, goes in super on the aggressive, and they're just all on the zone, laying down the grass along the way. We need to see Ryohi really bring his team forward here, because he is the person who can get so much value, but so far it's just all Navi.
Okay, we got to see Ryohi get through here with the super. Maybe TP on a choppy. He's just going for it. There's one kill, a second cycle through with the use of clay pigeons. Excellent kill. Kuru also with the hook on a Levi. So these hooks could be used if they wanted to break open some of the bushes, though I think Shelly is going to be better suited for that purpose. So Kuru's more focused on getting the kills in here. Levi also, he's got his hypercharge ready, just needs a super to really cap it off.
Nice.
We saw him pop the hypercharge and it immediately vanishes. Navi are now in a tough position.
There's no doubt in my mind that this is a FA Nidug set, but it's down to Ryohi really here, and he is making it work spectacularly well, but there, overran, not great positioning. These are the moments that can be really, really costly and allow Navi to continue forwards here. Nice Sandstorm, but I think it's probably going to be a little bit too late. Ghosty just working around this right-hand side, trying to make a play here as Kuru gets forced in there for the TP, but 92% now inclining. Navi should have this on lockdown now, and you know, at the moment, FA Nidug really struggling to combat this comp.
Dude, just what do you do into this? You have two healers and a tank with a hypercharge, and all you really have for it is a Shelly, maybe? And the Gray, sure, you get the TP up, but is Shelly really like the power player that you want to be TPing in? The entire idea is that you get Jackie in here. The other deal here is also like, okay, Sandy, we talk about Sandy. Oh, well, Sandy's good in the tanks. Yeah, because he's good in the tanks. Yeah, because they charge his super and he gets control. But when you have heals like this from Na'Vi, they're not even concerned really with Rude Sands. It's not forcing them out of here. On top of that, Ghost T, now really the limitation of getting his super is becoming his reload speed, because the Rosa is still pushing into him all the time. Excellent kill here for Suzuku. An early take for FA Nidug, but it is quite ephemeral, as we'll have to see Kuru abandon ship. The Ryohi is in a position to TP through. We'll see him and Ghost T both go through, but Levi's practically invincible in that super with 2 healers on his back.
I feel like Ryo's just going a bit too overly aggressive. I mean, he's got a really straightforward game. He's playing Shelly into Rosa, but you've got to be around to secure these kills. And now, just behind enemy lines, I like this better from FA Nidog. But Ryo's just got to stay on that Rosa. And that's what the Byron's really there for, is to try to whistle him down to get him out of the mix early, to allow Levi then to go on the tear that he's going to be on. And he's got the hypercharge as well, so dangerous. Great walking canes, by the way, this entire game here from Kuru. The map is completely open now, allowing them to be able to do more. Nice mute cancellation there from the hypercharge Ghost, but nonetheless, Navi are all still on this mid. All 3 members. Ghost is doing his best, but I don't think he's going to come out alive. Did pretty well to get 2, to be completely honest. And now Ryohi comes in. A great way to be able to bring back the objective.
That might be the most extended team fight I've ever seen in competitive Brawl Stars. With Ryohi getting some value early on, the persistence earned by the combo of Levi on this Rosa and the 2 healers, Ryohi had enough time to die and then respawn to come in for the kill on Levi. But folks, this one has still gotta be Na'Vi. FA Nidug do not have a horse in this race. The undying Rosa. It doesn't matter. 2 healers, Rosa. Your moves are useless. It doesn't even matter. Excellent draft. Amazing intuition here from Na'Vi. Once again, I'll remind everyone, they have the power of Ace Analyst on their side. And I would say that this is not a very APAC draft. This is not very characteristic of them. So what up, Ace? You know, big shout out to you, at least pretending I'm Na'Vi here, because that was wonderful. No issues with the great Jackie. Jackie could not have been picked at all. The double healer Rosa was phenomenal.
For me, I think a bit of a miss from FA Nidog. I mean, you know, Rosa's like the Superman, right? But they've got the kryptonite. They've got Shelly. I mean, like, that to me is like a one and done deal. I mean, you can't really do much with a Rosa in a map that's that open, and Kuru did a great job of opening the map with those walking canes. That's really kind of all part of their strategy. But I mean, yeah, they've got a lot of heals on the side of Na'Vi, but they've also got range on the side of FA Nidog as well to be able to utilize, and they just was really struggling. I mean, credit to Levi. I mean, he was getting the right so well. You've got to remember, they were 2 sets down against a match point, no less. And now we're all level going into the 5th and final set, and this one's turning incredibly quickly.
I see just many places where this could have been better for FA Nidug. I think that this is a rejuvenated Na'Vi that they're playing against. Yeah. Na'Vi have basically nothing to lose at the moment, because they're not even on the scoreboard in that top 4 that is going to go to LCQ or Worlds. And they're just fighting for their way in there. In order to make it, they need to make almost a flawless run through all of this. Now, taking down FA Nidug this way, or rather, let's talk what FA Nidug's strategy was into that. They thought they could get the great Jackie. It was visible from a mile away, and typically when you see that happening, if you try and counter it, then you are going to get countered yourselves. And Na'Vi, I think, have engineered a way to make sure that they can not only counter it, but they can counter the counter to their counter. Are you picking up what I'm putting down, Ark?
Bro, honestly, I'm British, you're American. A lot of the time, I just kind of smile.
Okay, dude.
I always get what you mean ready. Like, you know, even if it comes across in the way that it does, I'll see through it. I'll see the logic. But yeah, you know, it's one of those things where I feel like we were discussing this behind the scenes as well. I feel like APAC have always been a region that have struggled a little bit when it comes to draft. You know, but prior to draft, very few teams could really go up against the might of APAC and what it has to offer. But since draft, they're just a little bit behind some of the other regions, in my opinion. And I think that's where, like, bringing in some drafters from other regions would go such a long way for them. And obviously, it is doing just that as well, as you already mentioned with Ace. But now Max, first pick coming in for Hard Rock Mine. Definitely a very good brawler. Not necessarily my first starting brawler to hand on this map, but let's see what they're cooking. They got the Byron, they got the Draco Band.
Upon a time we were like, okay, so if they